Have you ever truly looked in the mirror and wondered who stares back? We all know our names, ages, addresses, the superficial stuff, the labels we wear. But the real you, the incredible power the world tries to keep hidden, is far greater than you can possibly imagine. It's astonishing how many people go their entire lives without even glimpsing this inner strength. Do you really know yourself? Many think they do, citing job titles, ages, family status, but these are just surface details, a flimsy identity card. You are not your job description, your physical body, or the roles you play. How often do you define yourself with limiting labels like shy, disorganized, or insecure? These aren't inherent truths, they are learned behaviors, ingrained patterns absorbed from family, education, and society, accepted without question. I've come to believe we exist on three simultaneous planes: spirit, mind, and body. But a lack of self-awareness traps most people solely on the physical plane, reacting to external events like puppets on strings. A late payment triggers panic, criticism breeds insecurity, economic downturns induce despair. They are oblivious to their own powerlessness, mere playthings of circumstance. It's tragic, really. Most people don't live, they simply react. I remember a time when I didn't understand this. I blamed myself, or the world, for my struggles. Lack of money was bad luck, conflict, destiny. Then, a mentor said something that shifted my entire perspective: if you don't like the results, you need to change your approach, because they are your results. A seemingly simple sentence, yet a colossal revelation. The obvious becomes unbelievable when we fail to reflect on it. Consider your own life, you living your authentic self, or merely reciting a script written by others. Do you define yourself by what you own or do? I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, I'm a parent. But what happens if you lose your job, your children leave home, your circumstances change? Who are you then? That's where many people experience identity crises, because they've never truly known themselves. The truth is, you are far more powerful than you believe. You are the energy that creates mental images, the consciousness that chooses its thoughts. You can envision a brilliant future and actively work towards it. If you can imagine it, you can create it. This is the power the world has tried to suppress, convincing you of your own impotence. But you've always been free to shape your reality. But I don't control everything, you might argue. Of course not, but you do control your reactions, and those reactions shape your path. Two people facing identical situations, one emerges broken, the other strengthened. The difference isn't the event, but their belief in themselves. The question is, do you live as a creator or a victim? Believing you're merely a body navigating a predetermined world leads to a reactive, complacent existence, molded by external forces. But awakening to the truth of your inherent power reveals opportunities where you once saw only obstacles. Your greatest wealth lies within, waiting to be discovered. The life-altering realization for me was understanding that I am not my name, my body, or my past. I am the consciousness that creates, decides, and chooses who I will be each day. By understanding this, you find the power you've been searching for outside, within yourself. Invisible barriers often hold us captive, even when we strive. Two silent, insidious enemies: conditioning and environment. The first, conditioning, begins in childhood. You were programmed to think and act like those around you. You learned to speak, to believe, to limit yourself as your parents, your school, and society taught you. How many times have you heard phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees, work hard and be grateful," or "Dreaming big is risky"? Each of these ideas infiltrated your subconscious, shaping your worldview and creating an invisible prison. The second enemy, environment, is more readily apparent. Most people follow the same predictable patterns. They work for decades, sacrifice dreams, yet still reach the end with little financial freedom or fulfillment. Statistics reveal that only a small percentage achieve true financial independence. The vast majority simply survive, never experiencing what they truly desire. If the majority fail, does it make sense to imitate them? To follow paths proven to lead nowhere? I experienced this firsthand. In the Toronto Fire Department, everyone seemed resigned to a predictable routine: early wake-up calls, grueling work, waiting for a paycheck, complaining about bills, and repeating the cycle. I was trapped in that same cage, the fear of being different holding me captive. But a nagging feeling inside told me this wasn't my life. Breaking free from that routine, I understood the price of conformity, living a life that wasn't my own. Have you felt that? The emptiness of staring at your work and thinking, is this all there is? Or seeing someone achieve something extraordinary and saying, that's not for me. Those thoughts aren't yours, they are imposed. You've inherited the limitations of those who came before you. Had you grown up in an environment where talking about millions was commonplace, you'd believe it was attainable for you too. Many hide behind fear. What if I try and fail? But the crucial question is, what if I never try? How will I ever know? The fear of standing out, of being different, confines so many. From a young age, we're taught not to make waves, not to draw attention to ourselves. Yet the great names in history, Thomas Edison, Guglielmo Marconi, Steve Jobs, changed the world by daring to be different. They didn't conform, they made an impact, paving the way for the inventions we use today. Will you be another face in the crowd, or will you challenge those invisible barriers? Simply by thinking for yourself, you begin to break free from conditioning. Questioning what you've been taught creates space for a new reality. It's uncomfortable at first, as your subconscious pulls you back to the familiar, but that discomfort signals growth. I discovered my freedom by accepting that the external world doesn't define who I am or what I can achieve. You can reach that same conclusion. Stop following the crowd, stop repeating limiting beliefs, and build the life you desire. The greatest risk isn't standing out, it's spending your life hidden in the crowd, only to discover too late that you never truly lived. Everything in the physical world was first created in the mind. Every object, every technology, began as a thought. Before becoming reality, it was an idea, a mental image. You create your life through the images you hold in your mind. Most people don't realize they project thoughts of scarcity, failure, and fear. By nurturing these images, they materialize into experiences that confirm their fears. I fell into this trap. Initially, I believed enough money would solve my problems. That was my mental image, money would fix everything. Upon earning a substantial amount, I discovered something unsettling. More money brought more problems, more debt, more responsibilities, more worries. It's not money that transforms your life, but how you see yourself and direct your thoughts. What have you been thinking lately? How often do you replay worries, insecurities, and doubts? These images aren't harmless, they become commands for your subconscious mind, which doesn't distinguish between reality and imagination. If you think about failure, lack, and loss, your mind will seek to confirm it. That's why many people attract the same problems, trapped in a never-ending cycle. Imagine the opposite, visualizing a life of abundance, opportunities, and healthy relationships. It may seem like a fantasy, but that's how all change begins, a mental picture repeated until it becomes a belief. With belief, behavior changes, with changed behavior, results change. Neuroscience research confirms this. The brain doesn't distinguish a real experience from a vivid imagination. Elite athletes use visualization. Michael Phelps, arguably the greatest swimmer of all time, reported mentally rehearsing every detail of his races before entering the pool. He visualized himself winning, perfecting each stroke, each breath, as if he were actually competing. By the time he reached the starting block, his body executed what his mind had already practiced countless times. The difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive lies in the images they hold in their minds. Those who think scarcity attract scarcity, those who think prosperity find ways to prosper. It seems simple, but it requires discipline, as the environment tries to pull you back into old patterns of fear. How many times have you shared a dream and heard, "That's impossible," or, "If it were easy, everyone would do it"? By accepting these ideas, you create a mental image that blocks your growth. I learned that it's far more powerful to reject any "I can't" thoughts and insist on finding a "how can I." That simple shift transforms everything. There's always a way, but you'll only see it if you're willing to create the mental image of its possibility. The clearer the image, the faster your reality aligns with it. Life isn't defined by what you have or what the world imposes, it's shaped, moment by moment, by the images you cultivate within. If you're unhappy with the results, don't just try to change external circumstances, change the thoughts you nurture. It all begins on the invisible screen of your mind, where every detail of your future is being drawn right now. Many dream of a better life, but when I ask them what they want, the answers are vague. I want a lot of money, I want to be happy, I want to be successful. What does a lot of money mean? For some, it's $10,000, for others, $1 million. The mind doesn't work with generalities, it needs clear images. Without defining exactly what you want, you remain lost in fuzzy desires that never materialize. I learned that the first step to transforming any area of your life is to be specific. Don't just say, I want more, decide how much, by when, and how. Writing down my first financial goal on a card changed everything. I carried that piece of paper in my pocket and reread it several times a day. It seemed simple, but that small act kept my mind focused on what I wanted, not what I feared. Ideas, people, and opportunities began to emerge, drawing me closer to the number on the card. But this is where many falter. As soon as they define a goal, the voice of fear emerges. You don't have enough experience. You don't know the right people. It will be too difficult. These thoughts always surface, and that's where you must understand your power to reject them. Thinking about why something can't work never helped anyone. The key is to insist on asking, how can I make this possible? That simple shift in questioning completely changes the workings of your mind. I see many people give up on their dreams because they spend more time listing obstacles than imagining solutions. They've been programmed to see only problems. From school onwards, we hear more about limitations than possibilities. We're trained to fear mistakes, when each mistake can be a stepping stone in the right direction. When you set clear goals, your perception shifts. Have you noticed how, when you decide to buy a specific car, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere? It's not a coincidence. Your brain activates a mechanism that filters everything around you to highlight what relates to your focus. The same applies to your goals. By writing down exactly what you want, your mind begins to identify opportunities you previously overlooked. I remember starting my first company. No formal education, no influential contacts, but a written goal reviewed daily. Doubt crept in, but I reminded myself of what was written on that card. It kept me on track, even when it seemed impossible. Had I stopped to listen to the reasons why it wouldn't work, I would never have taken that first step. How many times have you given up before even trying, simply by believing your mind's objections? How many dreams have you abandoned because you didn't see the entire path? You don't need to see the whole journey, just take the first step and trust that the next steps will reveal themselves. Setting clear goals is more than a productivity technique, it's a declaration of who you choose to be. It's a commitment to not living at the mercy of chance, but consciously deciding where you want to go. By writing down your goal, reading it daily, and rejecting the voices of doubt, you're reprogramming your mind to focus solely on, how can I? That decision transforms your results. How you see yourself determines everything that happens in your life. There's an image etched into your subconscious called your self-image, which acts like an invisible thermostat, controlling your results. If you believe you don't deserve prosperity, you might temporarily earn money, but you'll find ways to lose it. If you believe you're incapable, you'll sabotage yourself at every opportunity. That's why so many people live in endless cycles. They lose and regain weight, make and lose money, start something promising and abandon it. It's not a lack of effort, it's the self-image dictating their limitations. I experienced this intensely when I started making money with my first cleaning company. Imagine someone who'd never studied business, who'd worked odd jobs at gas stations, earning over $100,000 a year. Outwardly, everything seemed right, but inwardly, I still carried the vision of an uneducated, worthless young man with no future. That vision almost drove me to bankruptcy, as I subconsciously sabotaged myself. With every achievement, a thought emerged, this isn't for you. And I believed it. Only when I realized I needed to change my self-image did my life stop oscillating like a roller coaster. Many people misunderstand this, believing self-image is simply self-esteem, but it's much deeper. Maxwell Maltz, a plastic surgeon, noticed that altering his patients' appearances sometimes led to complete behavioral changes. Shy people became extroverted, others gained confidence. But there were also cases where, even after surgery, nothing changed. He discovered we have two images, the external one we show the world, and the internal one we carry in our subconscious. And it's this internal image that commands our results. Think how many times you've limited yourself because of this image. How many times have you avoided public speaking because you thought you lacked charisma? How many opportunities have you missed because you believed you weren't ready? How many times have you looked in the mirror and disliked what you saw, despite external praise? All this reflects the self-image you carry. The good news is that this image can be changed. A powerful method is visualization. By allowing yourself to relax and mentally create a more confident, capable, and prosperous version of yourself, you give new commands to your subconscious. Initially, it might feel forced, but the more you repeat it, the more your brain will accept this new identity. I used this practice to reprogram my internal vision. I wrote in detail how I wanted to see myself. I am a prosperous, capable, confident person deserving of success. I read this every day until it felt real. My behavior began to change to align with this new vision. Science confirms this. Your mindset is everything. It's the unseen force shaping your reality, far more powerful than any skill or talent. Think of it like this: your brain isn't just a passive receiver of information, it's a powerful biocomputer actively creating your experience. Visualization, for instance, isn't some woo-woo self-help trick, it's a scientifically proven way to rewire your brain for success. Athletes and artists have known this for ages. They mentally rehearse their triumphs before they physically achieve them. It's not about waiting until you've achieved something to feel good about yourself, it's the other way around. Feeling successful, believing in your abilities, sets the stage for actual success. The internal transformation comes first, the external results follow. So, how have you been viewing yourself? As someone constantly battling external obstacles, or as the architect of your own destiny? Because your journey will never exceed your self-image. This isn't about positive thinking fluff, it's about recognizing the fundamental law of duality. Everything has two sides, the good and the bad, the up and the down. Most people are wired to focus on the negative, the flat tire, the job loss, the missed opportunity. They fall into the trap of, why me, thinking, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy of negativity. It's not about avoiding hardship, it's about choosing your response. Two people can face identical setbacks and emerge with completely different outcomes. One uses the obstacle as fuel, the other uses it as an excuse. I've seen brilliant, talented individuals with incredible opportunities self-sabotage because their attitude was toxic. Conversely, I've seen others, starting with nothing, achieve remarkable things because they cultivated a resilient, optimistic spirit. Oprah Winfrey is a perfect example. She didn't let her impoverished childhood and early struggles define her, she used them as stepping stones. She didn't become one of the world's most influential women by accident, she chose a positive path. How often do you let external events dictate your mood? A bad email, a negative comment, how quickly does it derail your day? You're giving your power away. You can train your mind to seek the silver lining, even in the darkest clouds. When I lost money on an investment, I could have spiraled into self-pity, but I chose to focus on the lessons learned. Those lessons were far more valuable than the money I lost. That shift in perspective transformed a setback into a springboard to growth. Your attitude is contagious. Positivity attracts positive people, opportunities, and outcomes. Complaining and negativity reinforce a cycle of scarcity. Skill and talent are important, but a negative attitude will negate them. What's your attitude today? Are you choosing to see the possibilities, or surrendering to the challenges? Your attitude acts as a filter, shaping your reality. Change the filter, change the experience. It's an invisible force that can either amplify or destroy your results. You have the power to choose your attitude. It's not your environment, your past, or your circumstances that define you, it's your thoughts, your self-image, and your daily attitude. This is the power the world tries to silence, but now you know. If you understand this truth, you're ready for the next level. Click the link to watch the next video where you'll discover how to become even better. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.